commander of this unit and doing an outstanding job, taking 162 soldiers overseas, doing a 9-month deployment, and making it better than any previous unit has done in the past. For being a friend to most everybody here, being a mentor, and just being an outstanding soldier, friend. I'd like to present this from 133rd to you, sir.
Platoon! Attention! Halt! At ease! Good morning, 133rd! Yes, sir! Hey, I'm gonna miss that. I don't want to talk very long because you all know exactly how I feel about this unit and about each one of you. It's been a long journey. My wife and my kids, you've seen how long we've been here, but Juliana and Kim, if you would do me a favor and stand up. So, on behalf of the unit, we've got a dozen roses for Kim and my family's dedication, and that's not from me to her to thank her for all those nights, weekends, days, late nights, early mornings, whatever. But that's from you guys just for her tolerating all of that extra time. But if you look over at Juliana, she was 1 year old when I came to the 133rd. That's how long I've been around the 133rd. So this is going to be a whole new chapter for my whole family. But Kim, Juliana, thank you guys very, very much. We really appreciate it. I've got on here, I want to make sure I thank the soldiers. I have learned more in the 4 years, almost, of being a commander than I have almost, I'd say, in my entire life. I've traveled all over the world, I've done a deployment before, but nothing taught me as much about everything as being in command. But it also taught me really what it means to be a soldier, and what NCOs truly do for you guys every day. So, for the NCOs, for the soldiers, forward, rear deck, you guys' support was fantastic. Troop command support was fantastic. You guys don't know what you got until you're about to leave it or until it's gone. So thank you for the NCOs, to Troop Command, and the mentorship and the leadership that was provided. And I also want to make sure I recognize the lieutenants. Not everybody's perfect. But I tell you, we deployed with a very, very strong team of lieutenants. And Lieutenant Johnson, he's going to be a commander. Lieutenant Wilson is over in the 960th. Lieutenant Granfield going over to the 960th in Torrington, SBXO. So a lot of good things happening with your leadership and whatnot. So what an honor to be able to serve with each and every one of you guys. So I hit 18 years in about 3 days of service. And I've heard a lot of change of command ceremonies. I've had to listen to this, listen to that. So I'm going to keep that part of my talk to you guys very short. And I just want to say that when you look down at your right shoulder and you wonder, why am I coming to drill? Why am I doing what I do? Why did I have to go on that deployment or whatnot? Just look down at your right shoulder. And when you see this flag, you'll have your answer. You'll have your answer. That's why you're here. And I thank you guys for it. There's nothing better than being able to lead soldiers that are serving for that very purpose. So that's why we're here. Company! Two. Attention!
Set.
E. All right, good morning, 133rd. Always a pleasure to be back in Laramie. 133rd this morning. This is where I started out 25 years ago, so it's really nice to be here yesterday. So we're here today to talk about two captains. You'll see one smiling, very happy. The other one's very stressed out, got a lot on his mind. Okay, that's the evolution of the process here. I want to talk to you first about Captain Sheely. All right. He's been in command almost 4 years. You just heard him say that is a heck of a long time to be in command, okay? I mean, he's done an incredible job. It's really the most rewarding, the most challenging, the toughest job that you'll ever have in your career. All right? Especially taking 162 soldiers down range, bring them all back safely. I'm sure as you look back over the last 4 years, there's probably things you would have done differently, but you have a lot to be proud of. All right? Do I thank you for your service? All right, thank all of you guys for your service. Again, as Captain Sheely mentioned, you're all veterans. All right, and everything you did may not have been the one that you would have chosen. All right, it may not have been the most exciting thing. It's probably not what you joined the Army to do, but it's what the Army called you to do. So you all can be very proud of yourself and be proud of your commander, okay? So Captain Sheely, again, thanks for your 4 years of service. Ken, thanks for supporting him. I know for you it was even more challenging. While he was gone, you were back here taking care of everything, so we're going to give you your husband back after today, at least to a certain degree. And for you, it's all staff time from here, so we have to look forward to it. Captain McGee, I was privileged to be on the board that selected this guy for 133rd. Command General Alcar picked him, but I was on the board. And then, as now, I have complete confidence in your ability to take over this company. You've got a challenge of taking a great company, 97% WMSQ, by far the highest in the state. It's really unheard of in the National Guard. You've got the challenge of taking a great company and making it even better. And I have complete faith in your ability. So, with that, let's get the show on the road. Company. 2. Attention. Post.
In earlier times, the only command and control a commander had was what he could see. In order to help the commander monitor the battlefield, each subunit would carry colors, streamers, or pennants. These unique symbols became what we know as the unit guidon. The guidon was where the unit would rally, where the unit would find its direction, and what symbolized the unit during the confusion of battle. It became the symbol of the unit's existence. The guidon bearer represents the body of the unit. This soldier is chosen as an example of the unit by demonstrating the skills, bearing, and attitude of the unit. The guidon bearer is required to lead by example, by being to the front of the unit and demonstrating the direction the leadership wants to take. The NCO Corps is the backbone of the Army, and so the senior NCO of the unit, First Sergeant Olson, receives the guidon from the enlisted soldier. Tradition holds that the NCO is the keeper of the tradition of the unit, the enforcer of the discipline needed to ensure unit cohesion, to follow the guidon wherever it leads, and is the teacher of the knowledge and skills needed to make the unit function as a team. Captain Sheely receives the guidon from First Sergeant Olson, representing the fact that the unit follows the direction given by the unit chain of command. Years ago, the guidon followed the commander wherever they went, so that the unit would know where the command was for orders and reports. The commander leads from the front, so the unit would follow his or her example. The guidon is passed to Lieutenant Colonel Crofts. I relinquish command. To show the unit's ties to the parent unit and to show that the unit follows the chain of command. The senior command recognizes the pride and skill of the unit, but must be prepared to change and react to fulfill the needs of the community, the state, and nation. Attention orders. Headquarters Department of the Army and Air Force, National Guard Bureau, Washington, D.C. The Secretaries of the Army and Air Force have reposed special trust, confidence, and patriotism valor, fidelity, and professional excellence in Captain Michael S. McGee. Captain McGee assumes command of the 133rd Engineer Company effective 18 May 2014. The assumption of command is in accordance with paragraph 2-3 AR 600-20 and by direction of higher headquarters. Lieutenant Colonel Crofts passes the guidon to the new commander, Captain McGee,
I assume command.
and with it the symbol of leading the unit. While the commander leads, he must always remember to lead from the front, setting the example and direction that the unit is to go. The courage that is needed for command is evident in the location that the commander places himself and the symbols that he carries with him. The commander passes the guidon back to First Sergeant Olson, showing that even though a new command is taking place, the expertise and dedication needed to carry out the mission still rests with the NCO Corps. With passing of the guidon, the commander shows the responsibilities of a functioning unit rest on the entire chain of command. First Sergeant Olson passes the guidon back to the unit guidon bearer, the body of the unit, because without all of the soldiers the guidon bearer represents, the unit could never accomplish their mission.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Eat. Good morning, 133rd. Good morning, sir. You guys have no idea how excited I am to be here. I've been in the Wyoming Army Guard 17 years, and honestly, I'm one of the ones I can say I joined for the college money. I really had no desire to be in uniform. I thought it was a good way to pay for college. Got in probably a week into basic training and realized this is exactly where I was meant to be, and I've loved every minute of it. I never thought that I would cross over to the officer ranks. I spent 12 years enlisted, was pretty sold on the enlisted ranks. Got kind of challenged by a boss I worked for to try out the officer corps. Went that way, and so to go from E1 in the company all the way up to be a commander is humbling today. I honestly never thought I'd be here. So I wanted to thank a few people. You know, anyone knows that you don't get here alone. So first off, I want to thank God. I pray every day for wisdom to make good decisions and to be a good leader and to be a humble leader. After that, the second most important person by far is my best friend, my wife, Melissa. You'll stand up, baby. For those of you who don't know her, this is my wife, Melissa. And my two little boys, Luke and Jake, are here with me. And so just like the outgoing commander's wife, Kim, receives flowers, and traditionally, for those of you who don't know this, the outgoing commander's wife gets red flowers as a sign of love and appreciation for her time and what she gave to the unit. The incoming commander's wife traditionally gets yellow flowers from the unit, and the reason for that is to symbolize a new friendship that she's going to build. For those of you who don't know, Melissa runs the Friends of the 133rd. She does a lot. She pours her heart into being serving this unit. For those of you who don't know, she actually was enlisted for 8 years and was in the 133rd as a specialist in the supply room here. So thanks, babe, for supporting me and not having me for the next several years. After that, I'd like to thank Lieutenant Colonel Crofts and General Reiner both for having confidence in me and giving me the opportunity to do this. I appreciate it, sir. And there's a whole slew of people I can thank that helped me get here in my career, but let's just say that nobody's made as a leader on their own. They're made for people who pour into them, and I've had a lot of people pour into me. So I don't want to be too long here. I recently took the online MSAF survey. You've seen that. It's a leadership survey, and one of my developmental needs that I'm a tad wordy. So I'll try not to be too bad today. But I'll say, you know, Army regulation defines leadership as providing or influencing soldiers to accomplish their mission by providing purpose, direction, and motivation. And what that comes down to is telling people what they need to do, how they need to do it, and why they need to do it. So I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Well, recently, I saw a guy speak, a guy named Simon Sinek. He wrote a book in 2009 that studied what the difference between really, really successful leaders and organizations and ones that weren't so successful. And he said the whole difference was not what they did, but he said it was their mindset that they started with why we're going to do whatever we do. So in learning from that, I'm going to tell you, instead of telling you what, how, and why, I'm going to tell you why, how, and what. So why? Why are we going to do whatever we're going to do for the next several years? And I'm going to echo a little bit of what Captain Sheely said. It's because the American public deserves it. By a show of hands, how many people here have been thanked for their service? Okay? How many people here have had a meal bought for them by someone they didn't know? Okay? How many people have been somewhere and had someone send their little kid up to you to say, Mr. or Miss, thank you for your service? Okay. There are people in our nation that get a lot of attention, whether that's sports athletes or actors or politicians or whatever, but I can promise you none of them get that. Nobody in the nation gets what soldiers get. And you know, I always use a little saying when I do initial counseling with a subordinate leader. And I tell them, a lot of people say, you're going to have to earn my trust. And I tell people, I don't believe that. I believe I'm going to give you my trust 100% up front, and it's yours to lose. Well, you know what? That's what the American public has done with us. They've said, because they don't know you, they don't know where you've been, they don't know what deployments you've done, how you perform at drill, but they'll buy your lunch and they'll tell their kids to come up and shake your hand and thank you because they've given you their trust and their admiration, their appreciation up front. And so why are we going to do what we're going to do? Because they deserve it. And we're not going to let them down and let them think that we're going to give them back anything less than our absolute best. So that's why. Now, how are we going to go about our business? And that's another thing that I'm going to go ahead and echo what Captain Sheely said. We're going to go about it, or actually I'm echoing what Colonel Crofts talked about. He said, you're taking a great unit, and you got to somehow make that better. Well, for those of you guys who are, I know some of you are some PT hounds, people come back like all swole up. I don't recite that. You guys know that if you're going to lift and you're going to get stronger, or you're going to run and you're going to get faster, you have to go beyond what's comfortable. If you work out and go just to when it starts to hurt and quit, you never get stronger, bigger, faster. Well, we're going to be the same way. Wherever our line is that we're comfortable in doing what we do in training, we're going to push past that a little bit. And when that becomes comfortable, we're going to push past that a little bit. And we're going to continue to do that. That's the how. And so I can't promise you that for the next several years, you're going to love every minute of the training that we do. We're probably not going to love every minute, but I can promise you this. As a group, we will be better. We'll be better engineers, we'll be better mechanics, we'll be better leaders, and we'll be better soldiers as a whole. Because we'll do that and push on and keep moving that line where we're comfortable back. So those are the two big ones. The easy one is the what. That's what normally people start with. So what are we going to do? I'll tell you. We're going to do a lot of stuff, but the two primary focuses are going to be becoming as proficient engineers as we can, because I know you guys haven't touched equipment in 2 years. So we're going to maximize as much time, every drill as we can, touching equipment and turning wrenches. That's what we do. The second thing we're going to do is leader development. For those of you who haven't already figured it out, after the whole shakeout with this company, you're going to have a new commander, a new first sergeant, a new XO, 2 new platoon leaders, 1 to 2 new platoon sergeants, like 3 probably new E6s, probably 5 new E5s. So we're going to be an entire group of people, myself included, who are brand new in leadership positions. So we're going to focus on powering down people and becoming leaders that make decisions and assess and plan training at your own level. So that's going to be the focus these next few years. So that's all I have to say as far as my speech. We're about to move into a little ceremony. I want you guys to understand a little bit of how important this is. Major General Reiner, the tag for the state, is going to be here to re-enlist 11 soldiers. For those of you who've been around a while, I've never seen a Major General come and both in soldiers in my entire life. There were 11 soldiers who are going to re-enlist this weekend. Some of them asked, hey, honestly, I think it was more of a joke than anything. Hey, I wonder if the tag would be willing to swear me in. I saw Major General Reiner at the leadership conference in April. I asked him. He said, you know, I can't. I have things on my calendar that are planned. Probably about an hour later, he came back and said, you know what? I thought about that, and that's too important. and I'm going to cancel what I'm doing, and I'm going to be there. And I'm going to tell you that if you've been around for a little while, that doesn't happen. Major generals don't cancel, they have important stuff. They don't cancel stuff to come and be a part of this, but ours does. And so he's going to come up here and do this, and I know it'll be a simple thing, but I want you to realize what an awesome leader we have that focuses on the importance of soldiers down to the individual level. Company, two, attention. Following soldiers front and center: Staff Sergeant Anderson, Staff Sergeant Benskin, Staff Sergeant Eden, Sergeant Shreve, Specialist Dangerfield, Staff Sergeant Frosto, Specialist Miller, PFC Lester, Staff Sergeant Anthony, Specialist Manriquez, Staff Sergeant Vanderpool.
Arms. Order arms. Well, good morning. For those of you that are about to re-enlist, please raise your right hand and say again after me. I state your name. I do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And of the State of Wyoming. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic.